So hello guys, in today's video we are continuing with this kind of Spine Godot series, Spine Gate Development series, and we are going to see today what things we need to consider before jumping to Spine and Animate, okay? It's very important, like if, for example, if you are a beginner like me, you need to have like really know how the animation goes. What is the process of the animation? Because you can just how to say in a spine you can see a lot of animation that looks like puppets, like really bad. In my opinion, spine can give you more than that. Can give you You can use a mix between this interpolation and frame by frame style, and you can really have like a really cool animation. Okay, so you need to know, because we are working in 2D, you need to know when we need to change the image. When, for example, in this case, okay, we have the enemy and we have the player. So in which case, for example, as you can see, the fist is changing, right? The glove is changing because he's doing the attack, the one jab, okay? In this case, it's the two jab, okay? So as you can see, you need to consider this kind of things. You need to consider that this is change and this is changing here, and this is very important here because it's like the a very important frame, and then he attack. Okay, I don't need to put the process because I know that spine can carry this very well, but at least the main keys of the animation I like to draw it in Krita because it gives me like an idea of how the gloves will move. But surprisingly, when you do it, you discover that you don't need as much as frames as you thought that you need. Okay, and it's important when you are doing like a fight game, boxing game like me, that you really need to know how it's working the animations together, right? So after doing this, what I'm do is you can see a lot of parts. Can you see all the boxes, all the possible things that can change, all the images that can change in the we can say in the period of the animation when the animation ran, you know. So I need to change some frames, so I um, I draw as much as possible. But at the end, you realize that you don't really need that much, okay? But because I can say that now I'm more than a beginner in animation, but because I was a beginner at that time, I didn't know how the animation will look in Spine. Okay, so let's take a look, for example, to Spine, and look the two, that this is the animation. Okay, how it looks, as you can see, is more or less the frames that we do. Of course, my intention is, let's play this bigger so you can see it well. No, because this is the one. Let's go to 2. Okay, and stop this, and let's stop this. How to stop it? Okay, let's close it. So as you can see in the animation, it's very important to pre-draw the animation to have an idea of how it works, because when you do this you can see the image switching. Okay, you can start to see, okay, the glove start to move, but there is one point when you are doing the attack that this is like changing. Here there is like a change that uh, makes the image to change, and it's very important to have this in mind. Okay, and then when I attack, then when I arrive to the point, I can say I again change the frame. Okay, because really in this we can say in this moment I don't need to focus on changing this because it doesn't have sense, because it will be a very fast, you cannot even see it, right, when you are playing with this fast, with this speed, right? So you can do like intermediate animations. You can really make like a something that doesn't look like very cool or exaggerated to make it look better. But either way, this is not like a very good animation, we can say that, but at least it's useful for the for exporting to Godot. That is my main intention, to know as fast as I can if this timing is working, is this animation is working, then I will make it look way better. But at the moment, it doesn't make any sense to make it like, I don't know, maybe as you can see in this one, that there is like a more work put in there, right? Still not satisfied with this, but as you can see, there is like a mesh transforming. Okay, the mesh is changing, and then here the image change, the head is moving, the torso is also moving, you know, there is a lot of things that is taking place. And as you can see here, I made a decision because it was the one to change it in here. Okay, so these kind of things are very important to consider before jumping to Spine, because in the process will be maybe tedious. This is why I advise you that try to key the most important frames, will be more convenient to when you are working in the in the animation in Spine. For example, we have here, okay, this is the same, but for example, we have here the, let me see, this is the one, but I want to show you, yeah, this is the two, right? I need to take this out. So as you can see, this is how I made the other kind of attack, the one. So I know that this moves here, this is something here, then it changed to here. Let me see. Okay, and then the attack. Okay, so this was useful for me to, as I told you before, to be able to next use all this part. For example, as you can see, all the parts of the sketches I draw. So I have this kind of gloves, you see, that correspond to the different attacks. So this is very important. Okay, and it's something that it takes a lot of practice, because you really don't know when the animation it will break. You understand what I mean? There is one point that you will feel, because obviously here we are doing 3D. Here we can say we cannot deform the mesh in a way that looks as we want. So there is no other way that changing the image. Okay, so these kind of things are very difficult, we can say, to, at least for a beginner, to realize. And I know that Spine can makes, if you really want to make like me, very cool fluid animation, you really need to put a lot of effort. And I think at the end is something that it will be worth it, because with this software I can have more possibilities to expand my animation skills. With frame by frame I can get better, it's true, but I feel that if something is wrong, I cannot modify it. Okay, so obviously you need to pick what kind of animation you need for your game, because I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but as I told you, for this kind of game that I'm making, in my opinion, to have a fluid animation is important for the player to dodge the attack. Okay, so in this case, it is important to have this kind of animation. And also, my advice is don't forget to try to see yourself as a long scope. And what I mean with this is try to get software that maybe is a little bit difficult in the beginning, and then you will feel rewarded because you will expand your skills way beyond that you can imagine. If you limit yourself with easy software, maybe you will find that it will be difficult to grow. But some backwards that these things has is like there was a point that I feel overwhelmed because I was doing spine, I was learning how to draw in Krita, and I was learning how to program in Godot. And these three skills at the same time can be very stressful and can be very intimidating and can make you not to finish your game. But after this struggle that you need to face and you need to be very patient because trust me, right now I'm very, very better in way better in spine. These are not the animation that I'm doing. For example, I can show you, let me see, open project. I can show you that I change, I'm starting to change a lot of things. Like, this is a problem that I have. I don't know if it's here. Let me see. No, it is, I'm making 1, 2, 1. But I'm learning how to properly change images and copy paste clips and all these kind of things that are very useful in the future and will speed up my the development of the game, right? So this is why, yes, I make this. This was like I put better setup because I put one slot, one mesh, one slot, one mesh, thinking that this was the way to do it. But I realized that it's really not the way to do it. Okay, because at the end, when you are using, you will see, when you are using this animation, let's see, for example, this animation, and you change, everything goes to hell. Can you see it? Just because what I do is just take the previous configuration of this setup, and I change a lot of things here. And because of that, you see I have a lot of things that I need to fix because this type of keying, I think is you don't have a way to undo. Okay, so be very, very, very aware with the setup. It's very important, the setup in the spine. I think it's the most important thing to consider. Okay, and I advise you, as you can see, for example, here, the one that I'm doing, 1, 2, 1. This one looks way better now. And okay, but it has a problem that I don't know why, but it has a problem that I cannot see. Maybe if I go to preview and put 1 to 1, maybe you can see it, that this is like moving more fluid than in the other animation, right? I don't know if it's better or not, but I think that I'm starting to get the flow of spine. But after really puts a lot of days and effort. Okay, so consider that this kind of software is amazing, but it has a big backwards. Okay, that you really need to understand, read manuals, ask questions, as the same that you are doing with Godot or why I use Krita. So they are both amazing choices for 2D game, but you really need to put some effort, and you really need to consider this cost, okay, to your development morale, we can say, okay, your we can say your mood. Maybe you are not prepared to learn something new maybe you just want to improve what you know, and just keep it with this. But believe me, if you want to make complicated animation like I'm doing in Spine, you really need to put time and effort. Okay? So I hope this video was helpful for you. I think I didn't forget anything, but to summarize, as I told you before, remember, first do the main keys of the animation. Okay? First do the main keys of the animations that you, for example, will find here. When you see that something in 2D will be changed, will be something that you cannot, even with meshes, do it, so we need to change the image. Okay, so we need to jump to frame by frame. So we consider that, and we draw when we export to, okay, you need to find a script, Spine export. Okay, when I export to Spine, I have all this glove, all these images ready to use. Okay, so you need to consider this. When you see that some images is changing, remember to draw the main keys and see that. Then when you jump to Spine, really put some time in the setup. Okay, move the bones, see that everything is working. Okay, check everything before starting the animation, see that everything is working, everything is ready. Okay, and then you will see, even with this checking, you will see, if you're a beginner like me, you will see that you will have to redo the animation, or maybe you will feel a little bit frustrated because you forget some images or whatever. This will give you, the experience will give you that. Okay, it will give you that kind of thing. And try to be fast. Okay, try to be fast. Don't focus so much into oh, I will make an amazing, as you can see here, for example, not in this one, but if we jump to the one that is before, for example, this. Okay, if we jump to here and you see the one, you see that I lost a lot of time doing the animation to look good. But what I really need from that animation is just the timing, when the player can dodge the punch, you know, when the player can dodge. I don't need this head to move. I was just playing. I just was losing time. And the more time you spend, and the more time you can maybe feel that you cannot finish the game. Okay, so be very aware of that. Be careful with this. Try to be fast. When you have the animation done, even if it doesn't look good, but you think that it's good for the prototype, is the moment to not use more time. Okay, and consider the costs of using different programs that you don't know how to use at the same time. For me, that was a lesson to learn. I used Krita and Spine at the same time, learning how to use it, and I think it was too much. Okay, it was too much. So be aware also of that. Try to, maybe it's not the time to use Spine, maybe it's the time to use Spine. But other thing, in my opinion, in the other way, is a reward. Because if you use some program that is beyond your capabilities, you will feel that at the end, you will be able to do something very good level of animation in this case. Okay, if I just keep with frame by frame, it's very cool, maybe in the future, but not for this game. Not for this game, okay? So are my advices. As I told you, I hope these advices of how to consider in Spain have been useful for you. And remember, pre-plan the animation. Put the keyframes animations before jumping to Spine. Very important move. Okay, guys? So see you in the next video with another advices. Sorry for the rambling, but I want to keep like a real developer that is doing a game, a beginner developer. This is why we call GD Noob. Okay, so I hope you like the video. Please subscribe if you like it, or give a thumbs up. This will help me to know if you like it or not, and will make me continue to give this advice video that in my experience I just learned and I can share with you. Okay, so I hope you have a good day and see you in the next video.